Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. How are you all? I hope you guys are doing great. Happy Tuesday. Yeah, today's Tuesday. Yeah. I don't know if you're hearing, but there is very, very loud music going on outside of right now. It's amazing music. It's all Michael Jackson's back in the 80s, 90s kind of thing. And it is just awesome music, but it's just loud. So I don't know if you're hearing it, but in one way I want you to enjoy it, but another way I was like, I don't want you to disturb anything. So I literally had to close my windows because it was so loud. But anyways, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you all doing? As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry and Meghan, Lily, baby Lily, or big girl Lily, big boy Archie, Mama Doria, Pula Guy, the chickens, Mama Mia, all of us here at Sussex Squad. Welcome, everyone. How has your life been in the last few days? Hope you are having fun, whatever it is you are doing in the world. I'm just going to jump in the chat for a second and say hello to all my friends. Hello, our awesome moderator Lydia is here. Hello, and Lydia is saying hello to everybody. Connie, Gwendolyn, Louise, Annie, Black Queen, Kenitha, Ash, Lorna, everybody. She is Kenitha Ash. Sorry, Kenitha is Ash's one name. So Lydia is just saying hello. So Lydia, I just took it upon myself to let everybody know you're saying hello. Connie is here and Lorna is here. Church Nelly, our awesome moderator, is here. And Nacho enthusiast. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, Mary H is here. Hello, Mary H. Lorna. Elaine Parker is here. Hello, guys. Who else? Oh, our awesome moderator Karen M is here. Hello, Karen M. And let's see who else is here. Scrolling down. Louise is here. Hello, Louise. How are you? Let's see who else is here. They're just chatting among themselves. Annie, wait, did I say Annie before? Annie, you're here. Just in case I didn't. Janice is here and Leslie F. Hello, Leslie F. How are you? Our legal expert, aficionado, everything legal mind. Dolores is here. Lady Shandy's here. Joyce is here. Hello, guys. Connie, well, I said Connie before. Connie, I got you before. Joan Garcia is here. Hello, Joan. And Robin. And all of our other friends coming in. Well, let's just say hey to Faye and Brenda and R.R. Carter. And then we'll say hello to all of our friends as we go along with our 150 who are hanging out with us at the moment. I'm assuming all other friends would be joining us at some point when we welcome you. Oh, I see you there, Glenn and Melissa. I see you guys. And Jay Patterson, I see you. So what is happening in the world? Our faves are, well, at least Meghan. She is under a tree somewhere. We don't know. We haven't seen Meghan since New York. So, I'm like, girl, just stay under your tree, do what you're doing. I'm assuming working on Archetypes Part 2 or Season 2 or however you want to term it. So I'm assuming that's what she's doing. But what is our other fave Harry doing? He at least he was yesterday in San Diego at the Warrior Games. And it's so funny. I pulled in this picture, the circle, one in the red circle, and realized StreamYard just stretched it so much you could hardly tell what the picture is. I was like, StreamYard, that's not how you're supposed to do that. I mean, look at the picture in the center. It is just stretched, but probably for the best because those are like 3 or 4 young ladies oogling Prince Harry there. It's like Meghan is like giving you 3 girls the eye. It's like, stay away from my husband. But anyways, Prince Harry was in San Diego for the Warrior Games yesterday. It was amazing. One of the wonderful things about the Warrior Games, as we know, that's where Prince Harry got the idea for the Invictus Games. Back in 2003, he was here in the U.S. I think it was in Colorado, I think it was, or was it Miami? Someplace like that, either Florida or Colorado, one of them. And Harry was like, we should do one of this, but for the world. And he was telling one of his mates, who actually now also works for Invictus Games, his idea. He was sitting there and telling them, we could do this, but incorporate, all other countries around the world, vets from around the world. And, obviously, the Warrior Games is a U.S. Games for the U.S. servicemen and women, or and vets. And so that's where Harry got the idea for Invictus Games. And we know it is, now history. I mean, it's just, all over the world, everybody is excited again about it again. The new version of it, not new version, but the next games would be in September in Dusseldorf, Germany, and then in 2025 coming in Canada, Vancouver and Whistler, Canada. So it will be amazing in September, but it's so great that Harry was able to be here for the Warrior Games, because a lot of the athletes here are going to be participating in the Invictus Games. So you get a chance, you got a chance to meet them, meet with the leaders, and meet with the generals and stuff like that. And it's wonderful. It is so wonderful to see Harry back. I mean, he is in his element here, as we know. Harry's all about the military. Ever since he was a boy, he's all about the military. And so the U.S. Army ARCP tweeted this yesterday. It says, when Prince Harry wants to sit with Team Army member Master Sergeant Michael Haley and his parents at sitting volleyball. And then we know, from watching it at the Invictus Games, how amazing it is and how fun and exciting sitting volleyball is. So I'm not surprised that Harry was there for the sitting volleyball, because sitting volleyball is amazing. It is so much fun if you've ever watched it. And I accidentally I made a mess of this whole picture, because he's sitting next to the gentleman in white, who is Master Michael Haley. But the gentleman on the left, which I accidentally put this picture over, I just made a mess of the whole thing. He on his left is General Charles Brown, and he apparently is going to be the next Joint Chief of Staff. So that's him on the right there, and I just made a mess of that whole picture. And so I know I'll probably post. I think actually I posted it in our community page, so you should see this picture in our community page. I am sorry, I just made a mess of the whole thing. But anyways, so that's who he's sitting in between. And so he's having a grand old time with them. And then he went to, this was the semifinals of the sitting volleyball game. And then he went to the finals as well, where he was sitting and chatting with General Charles Brown the majority of the time. So it's so fantastic to see Harry in his element with his peeps. And he also got an opportunity to take pictures with, with them, and so it's really wonderful, as we can see on top and bottom there. Got an opportunity to meet some of the athletes and fellow veterans, and also took a picture on the right. You can see with the USO, and so USO San Diego tweeted about it. Says, congratulations to SOCOM team, or SOCOM team, for winning the gold in sitting volleyball competition. You have a heart of gold. And what a sweet surprise to see Prince Harry join in the celebration. So we got a picture, a USO picture there on the right. You can actually, it's kind of little, but you can still see Prince Harry there with the team, the USO team there. And also, it's really cool to have that picture, because we know we also have a picture with Meghan. This is a little bit bigger picture with Harry and the team. See Harry in the back there. And we have this picture from back in 2014, I think it was, of Meghan doing the USO tour. And so there she is with her USO flag there in the front. That's Meghan there on your left, with her army hat and all the soldiers behind them as they were out doing this tour. So we now have a picture with Harry and the team with his USO flag, and then we have one with him, and we also have one with Meghan. So we're set. So I just thought that was really, really cool. Thank you, squaddies on Twitter, for finding this. It's like, oh yeah, but it looks like Harry had a fantastic time yesterday, and not only that, here he is under left with the at the volleyball, as if you've watched it or watched any of it during the Invictus Games last year in The Hague, how exciting it is. So you you could understand why Harry is looking like, oh wow, this is it's looking definitely very intense there as they're doing it. And Priya reporter, she is, and I think she is the lady on the picture on the right. That's her in the purple. That's by the stage there. And she tweeted out, at least it was on her Instagram. She posted this. She says, had such an amazing night with incredible human and athletes at the DOD Warrior Games. Thank you for sharing your stories of courage and resiliency with me, and for allowing me to share this night with you on your recovery journey. I am inspired and awe of your service and sacrifice to our country. Thank you to Prince Harry and everyone else who came to support the wounded warriors. US, US, US. And not only Prince Harry was there, to see the games. Earlier in the day, you can see him on the right there. He gave a speech to the veterans, and apparently it was very, very inspirational, and there was a lot of cheering and stuff like that. So he is just really out there supporting the vets, and again, a lot of them are going to be a part of the U.S. Invictus team. So, and Harry has also always had this really great relationship with the veteran community here, with the military community here. Not only as a veteran, but also um, the being a part of Better Up, that program, a lot of the different, like the Air Force and stuff, are all signed up for coaching with Better Up. So he has gotten them a whole bunch of stuff, not only to help the Invictus vets, but also to help different branches of the U.S. military that are also getting coaching from Better Up. And so it is just really great to see that. And long before he moved here, Harry has always had a great relationship with the U.S. I remember him coming to train, like do some pilot training here in the U.S. I remember former Joint Chief Star, the late Colin Powell presenting him with an award. And Colin Powell also had a great relationship with Princess Diana. And so Harry has always been, such an incredible friend and ally to the military community here in the US. And so even though we know, how horrible sometimes he's been treated in the UK, especially by the royal family, we always remember them not wanting to lay that wreath. I will never forget that, and then even some of his fellow soldiers, even with Spare and all of that stuff, that happened. No matter what is it, the U.S. military community has always held Harry in very high regard and really appreciative of his work. And I remember one soldier from the U.S., when all the stuff was happening, with the book and all of that stuff, he was tweeting how he served in Afghanistan with Harry, and what a great support Harry was to them. So it was just, again, we love Harry here, no matter what the nonsense is going on in Shutter Island. The U.S. military community and the U.S. really appreciate him and love him. And as one of our squaddies says, don't go where you're not tolerated. Go where you're appreciated. And we appreciate Harry here, in the U.S. So kudos to Prince Harry and all of those that really, who were a part of the Warrior Games. We look forward to see you guys at the Invictus Games in Dusseldorf in September. So very, very, very awesome. I'm like, yeah. Let's see. Oh, Mary H is saying, says, that's very cool, Pedal. Duchess Meghan did this kind of thing before she met Harry and met the royals. Prince Harry is military always and always close to his heart. Very, very true. Yeah, I mean, she, her grandfather was in the military. And so or her grandfather or great grandfather, I think it was her grandfather who was in the, some branch of the military. And so Megan has always had a heart for the military and veterans. And so she, again, in 2014, she did the USO tour. I think they were, where did they go? In Afghanistan, I think. Afghanistan, the UK, they were in Europe visiting army bases, as the USO does, like, especially around the holiday times. So in 2014, her, Kelly Pickler, and some other people were part of that team traveling around to, entertain and inspire and motivate the troops. So that's where you saw Megan's flag there. So it's really, really, really awesome to see the love and appreciation. I'm like, yes. um, so let's see. Karen M. Oh, Karen M is giving us some education here. Karen M says, SOCOM stands for the United States Special Operations Command. Oh, thank you so much. I didn't know what it stood for. So the United States Special Operations Command. Thank you very much. Education, things I learned today. Thank you. I love our community, our very, very, very educated, very informed community. Thank you so much. Let's see. Let's see. I'm just checking some more comments before I move on. Let's see. I don't know if you guys are hearing this music. It is just so, like, I have all my windows closed and it's just blaring through my windows. Amazing. But, a little Phil Collins, I guess, wouldn't hurt anyone. Penny says, the games are not televised. Oh no, watch paper freak out. Every time Harry or Meghan does anything newsworthy, the paper make up something bad about them. Well, the UK, but it wasn't it was streaming actually yesterday. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I know Royal Suitor, I think it was, she is one of our squaddies and a freelance reporter on Twitter. She posted a link to the streaming at some point yesterday. So I'm not sure what site it was on because I didn't get a chance. I just saw it and I was kind of quite busy, so I didn't get a chance to do anything with it. But yeah, no, it wasn't televised as far as I know, but some site was streaming it. And so that's how we saw like the video of Harry and stuff like that, because the presenter was like, yeah, we have a special guest in our audience, and then they put the camera on Prince Harry. So it was very, very nice. Very, 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 very nice to see. Let's see. What else do we have? I'm not laughing at the people on the phone. I saw this, and this was, I guess, they're practicing for, they're, practicing their thing for the, whatever it is, that's coming again, another parade spectacle thing that's coming up to celebrate King Charles's birthday. And this is, what is it? Is this the Jubilee or the whatever it's called? I'm like, I've lost track of how many of these things that the UK have. I'm like, how do you function with all these things? But they were rehearsing for that, and Trooping the Color. There you go, Trooping the Color. That's gonna be at I think it's this week or next week or sometime like it is. But whatever it is, they are practicing for it. And every time I've seen things with these people with these crazy hats in the summer, their soldiers are always fainting. And I don't understand. Why do they keep doing this stuff? And I don't mean to laugh because it's so ridiculous. It's just like, as you can see in the green there, This gentleman on the left there fainted, and everybody else just continued blowing and playing their music, and nobody. And I guess the ones in the black, I guess they are there specifically to run and to collect the ones that are fainted. And the one on the left tried to get up and try to, act like he's normal, and they just had to take him out because again, the heat apparently is very, very hot in the UK right now. And they're out there with these huge fur hat things and all. And I was just like, why do they do this? This makes absolutely no sense why they do this and then outfit people in this nonsense in the middle of summer when people are dying and fainting. Like, why do they do this nonsense every time? And I just like, I never understood it. So, and I don't think I ever understand it, and apparently someone was saying that Prince William, who was also dressed in this outfit, they've outfitted him to make it cooler for him, so I guess he doesn't faint. And so they've inserted different things, I guess, in his uniform to make sure that he stays cool. But apparently that doesn't, these other people don't, they don't have that. And so they're dropping like flies, and everybody just continue playing like and pretend like they don't even see them lying on the ground. And then these others running in to collect them, and it's just like, why? I don't know, the madness of the UK. I just don't understand. Again, people don't have food. They can't, cost of living crisis. But here we are, trooping the color, more money spent that nobody needs. What to do? To celebrate Charles's birthday, which by the way was last November. It's just like, or if you want to put it this year, this November coming up. It's not this whenever this month, this thing is supposed to be this week or next week, whenever it's supposed to be. It's in November. And so again, I'm not British. They're not complaining, so I shouldn't complain either. So there you go. Moving on. I see some of us talking about Tyler Perry. We'll talk about Tyler in a second. I saw that. Baby Lily's godfather doing great things. We'll come back to Tyler in a second. But before we get to Tyler, the court case is still going on, as we know. And I'm going to move my banner here. Again, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Please click the notification bell so you know when we drop a video. And also, you can join our channel if you are able. But going back, we'll put that banner back later. But going back to this, the court case is still going on. The court case that Harry's a part of is still going on. The people in his group that, they are doing like 4 different test cases. The strongest case against the Mirror News group for hacking and blagging and all the ways that they have illegally collected information and collected, as they call it, illegal news gathering, again, with whether it's blagging or hacking people's phones or voicemail. So they chose like the 4 strongest cases, which Harry's a part of, to present to the judge. And Nikki Sanderson, apparently she's an actress or from a show in the UK. I don't know if it's still on or not. I'd never seen it, but it's called Coronation Street. So she is one of the people that were testifying about the impact of what the Mirror News reporters did to her, the impact of those articles on her life, because people tend to think, oh, they're celebrities, so they should expect this kind of thing. But they either don't understand or they refuse to acknowledge just the damage this thing does to people's lives. And a lot of the things that she's testifying came, and she like Harry, wondering how did these people have this kind of information about me? They know exactly where I am all the time. It's like the same pattern with everyone who's testifying. It's the same pattern with the Mirror, how they're like, people are wondering like, how do these people know where I am everywhere I go? They it's like, so she is now, as Harry learned later, is it was because either she was hacked or blagged. And so this is part of her testimony, her talking about the impact that some of those horrendous articles, that were written about her had on her life. And her name is Nikki Sanderson. She says, Miss Sanderson claimed that in the article, Published in November 2004, the Mirror suggested she was bed hopping, having sex with 3 people in 1 week, which was so upsetting and was so removed from the truth. She continued, the backlash from the public was also very difficult, and I was subjected to both mental and physical abuse. People would shout at me on the street, calling me a whore, a slag, or a slut. People would elbow me, push me, and on one occasion, a group of girls even set my hair on fire. The actress said she was in the toilets at a club and smelled burning as she washed her hands. I looked down and saw they had set the back of my hair. They set fire to the back of my hair, she continued. She also added, no wonder people threw drinks over me when this was how I was portrayed in the media. Miss Sanderson, who played Candace Stowe on Coronation Street between 1999 and 2005, also said MGN had a frightening amount of access to her and her whereabouts due to surveillance allegedly commissioned by the publisher. And I mean, this is horrendous. And especially that the stories that they were posting, and she said they were lies that they were posting, and all of this abuse because of what they did. And so it's not just the fact that they are getting access to and hacking these people's phones or voicemails, or having these private investigators follow them and on. She talked about also too, what it was like to, people like they would hire these people to follow her. Like, did they do background checks on these people? Did they know if these people are rapists or murderers or whatever that were following her and all of this thing? It has had a devastating effect on her life. And I think she's the one that left the court sobbing because of the impact that it has had on her life, and then having to come and testify here, having to drudge up all of those things, and then being cross-examined like she is the criminal. And if you notice, the reporters that they are, accusing of these things, none of these reporters are in court. None of them are testifying. So there's no cross-examination on them. But their victims have not only to, come back and relive this horror, but then they have to sit on that stand and publicly be cross-examined and treated as if they are liars and having to prove their pain so that they can be believed. And, when they talk about Prince Harry, when he left, of course, Prince Harry, was calm on the stand for the 1.5 day that he was being cross-examined. But when at the end, when his lawyer asked them, what it felt like to sit there, he took a while, and they said, like, his voice broke, and he said it was a lot, and because he held his emotion, and but they could see that just physically, his face, they're like, he let out, like, sort of like such a relief when it was over, because again, they're the victims, they're the innocent party, they're the victims, but then they're cross-examined and treated like they're liars, that they're making this up, it's a fantasy in their heads, and imagine having to live through that like her, and then be cross-examined and made to feel like you're the criminal instead of the victim. And so it is all so unfair. So I hope, I really, really do hope that they win this case, because when you look, and yes, they don't have, as we people say, like, oh, well, it's circumstantial evidence, because they don't literally have, like, okay, a recording of this reporter, this reporter, or any physical evidence of the reporter hacking the phone or any of that stuff. They don't have some emails and stuff, because a lot of these emails those reporters deleted, because that was one of the big thing. The Mirror deleted a lot of information and a lot of emails and all of those things. And it's really, so people are like, oh, but they don't have exact evidence. It's all circumstantial. They have evidence around it of what those reporters did. But then when you put together, I mean, any person with a brain, when you put all of these situations, whether it's Harry or her or all the others together, you see the pattern. You see these all of these people and the similarities of what was done to them. And when you match that up with the people, with the people that the Mirror reporters used either to hack them or however illegally they got the information, it paints a very clear picture of what happened. So even though some of the evidence is circumstantial, any person with a brain could look at it and it's like, yeah, wait a minute, that, they don't have to prove without a reasonable doubt. They just have to prove like the pattern. There's a pattern is there, and the impact of what they have done to the, whether it's her or Harry or the others, is very, very clear, and they should be held accountable. They should absolutely be held accountable for what they have done to them. It's so disgraceful. It is utterly disgraceful that none of these, at least the majority of the people who did this, they have gotten away with it. And none of them have paid the price for what, at least the majority have not paid the price for what they've done to these people's lives. So hopefully this changes, even though this is not a criminal case, it's a civil case, but this will be a step forward to change and having reform, which again is what Harry's about. It's not for him, not about winning or losing a case. It's about putting it out there and letting the public know what has happened so that so that laws can be changed. Guys, I am going to put this on thing for 1 second. Someone is ringing my doorbell very, very, very loud, and I am thinking, so give me 1 second. I'm just gonna do Into Space music. Really, Seth. Yeah. Hang on. Quite funny that UPS tend to come in the middle of my podcast every time I'm doing this. Okay, I am back. Hopefully they won't do this again. I don't know why they always come in the middle of my podcast. But anyway, so moving on. Sorry about that, guys. It's just they're ringing the bell so loud I couldn't ignore them after a while. But let's see. Moving on. So this talking about the court case, of course, if you have been paying attention to Byline Investigates for the last couple of years, this court case is, obviously not new to any of us in the squad, because a lot of us were reading Byline Investigates. So, a couple of years ago was the first time that we, knew they were there, because they started writing and posting about these court cases that were coming up, and we were like, what? Oh my gosh, and so back in 2020, couple of years ago, or at least 3 years ago, Graham Johnson, as we've been talking a lot about Graham Johnson, who is the co-owner of Byline Investigates, is also the owner of Expose News, who do the video. And again, the videos on that I've posted in our community page is from Expose News. And so Graham Johnson wrote this article and giving us an in on he was posting a lot of things about the hacking and the blogging that was going on at the Sun, at the Daily Mail and at the Mirror and stuff. And so this is what on the left is what he posted back in 2020. And so you see some of this stuff playing out now, and you'll see some of it playing out during the Daily Mail part of it, because again, Harry is, and Elton John and all of those suing the Daily Mail. So Graham Johnson wrote this in 2020. He says, Daily Mail dragged into Murdoch's Prince Harry hacking scandal. It says the Daily Mail royal editor, Rebecca English, as if you're on Twitter, you know who Rebecca English is. Daily Mail royal editor Rebecca English has been accused of paying a private investigator to spy on Prince Harry's former partner, Chelsea Davies. Flight details were tracked as she came from South Africa to see the prince. The Mail alleged team the Mail allegedly teamed up with a rival at Rupert Murdoch's The Sun to pay for the illegal surveillance. Miss Davy was so concerned about being followed, she paid cash last minute for her flights. It is the first time the Daily Mail has been directly pulled into the phone hacking and privacy invasion litigation that has already cost Murdoch more than £1 billion. That's right. The Sun, or at least Murdoch, between the Sun and the News of the World, he has paid out, more than £1 billion to people who they have hacked or blagged in some way. And so this was back in 2020 that Graham Johnson wrote this about Rebecca English and this reporter from the Sun, Rupert Murdoch's son, that were paying a private investigator to illegally surveil Chelsea Davis flights, to get her to blag her flights, basically, to pretend that to pretend like they are part of her team or her, and this is what they do. They call whomever to, pretending to be someone like her or someone in her team, confirming information, and then they're able to get that, whatever information they need for their article in that way. That is illegal. So this was when we first learned about this, and of course we were tweeting it at Rebecca English, because we had no idea that she was involved in this kind of thing. That was big news. So bring it forward to last week, right after Prince Harry's testimony, Mirror reporter Jane Kerr was on the stand, and she's the one that was claiming all the time that she just didn't know. She was an editor. She claimed that Piers Morgan would insert stuff into her articles, but she didn't know where it came from. She also paid private investigators 900 times for information, but somehow she didn't know where they were getting this information. And I'm like, you're going to do this 900 times as an editor and you don't know where these people are getting this information? That is very, very hard to believe, But so when she went on the stand, again, bring this forward to last week after Prince Harry's testimony, it says, in court, Mirror journalist Jane Kerr was questioned about commissioning South Africa-based investigator Mike Baer to cover a story about Harry's then girlfriend Chelsea Davy, as her name was on 2 invoices. She said that she would have asked him to make calls, quote unquote, on the story and get information from his contacts. David Sherborne read from a joint email written by Mr. Baer, that same guy she called, Mike Baer, in December of 2007. To Rebecca English, Rebecca English, the Daily Mail's royal editor, and Duncan Larcombe, the former royal editor for the Sun. So that one is when Graham Johnson mentioned the reporter, he didn't name the reporter from the Sun. Now we're learning from last week that reporter was Duncan Larcombe, the former royal editor of the Sun, to illustrate the private investigator's method. And this is what the private investigator said. He said, there we have in wonderful detail all of the flight details, the seat number, flight times, the flight number. And asked Miss Kerr, he's blagging flight details, isn't he? She replied, yes, adding, I don't know how he got this information. I've never seen this. It's funny with her. She never knows anything. She admitted that that's blagging, that's how he got the information. But now she's like, oh, I don't know. He read it, and that's Harry's lawyer, David Sherborne. He read from another email headlined, Chelsea's Airline Search, from Mr. Baer to Mr. Larcombe, which discussed payment arrangements and how he had already billed Miss English. So this is clearly, those emails clearly stating that Rebecca English and Duncan Larcombe paid this guy for information about flight details. And if you read the Byline Investigates article, it goes on to talk about how investigators or private investigators, whatever, bought seats. They got Chelsea Davies' private flight information and bought seats next to her so that they could watch her the entire flight. And imagine being Chelsea, not knowing, and then only to realize that an investigator or whomever that the Daily Mail and the Sun hired is sitting right next to you, spying on you as you're flying. And this is what they've done. And so it's so despicable that what they have done, it's absolutely so despicable. And, to this day, Miss Jane Curtin is still like, oh, I didn't know. Who, me? I just asked for some information, and oops, I've never seen this email before. And it's just so sickening. And so if you don't know who these people are, this is Duncan Lacombe and this is Rebecca English. And one of the things with Duncan Lacombe, you will see him. I mean, if you've paid attention to any, of those royal shows coming out of the UK, he's always on there as this, royal expert or royal commentator. He also even wrote a book about Prince Harry. Don't go buying it. He also wrote a book about Prince Harry buying it. But one of the things that you may not know about Duncan Lacombe, if you've heard of him before, is that he was arrested and charged for paying one of Prince Harry and Prince William's instructors at Sandhurst. That's a military academy that Harry and William attended. He was arrested and charged for paying one of the instructors there over 27,000 pounds for information on Harry and William. He claimed that the instructor came to him to try to give him, nice reports about William and Harry. And so as you can see from this Guardian article, this was, I think, back in 2015, I think this article was from, it says Duncan Lacombe on trial. He actually went to trial for allegedly paying Sandhurst officers for tips about Prince William and Harry. Says in his heart of hearts, he didn't believe he was doing anything wrong. And so he was on trial. And then, as you can see with the press gazette at the bottom, it says Royal Editor Duncan Lacombe was found not guilty of misconduct in the public office by paying former sergeants for scoops on the Princess William and Harry last year, is to leave the paper again. After a year after this whole case happened, I think he was with the Sun for like 15 years or whatever. And a year after, I guess he was acquitted. He left the Sun, but it's, he was acquitted of wrongdoing or misconduct, but he still, he still did pay for the information. And again, paying one of the former instructors at Sandhurst. Again, Harry always talks about his time at Sandhurst. Well, they were squealing on him at Sandhurst. And this is Rebecca English. And you'll see her, she reports for the Daily Mail. And she always has those lying articles about Harry and Meghan. And apparently when Harry was still a royal, she was one that he was, I guess, in her words, he was nice to her. But then when he met Meghan, he completely just never looked at her ever again. And she has been bitter about this ever since. And I remember when they left, she wrote this article, and it was just this stalker article. It's just like, girl, you need to go out and touch grass, But it's just, again, this is who paid that man for paid or allegedly paid, and according to the emails, paid the investigator from South Africa to spy on and blag Chelsea Davies' flight. And again, if you've looked at the statements that Harry, his witness statements, a lot of it is about wondering how on earth did these people find out, Chelsea's flight number. They found out when I'm at the airport to meet him. They know if I'm at the wrong airport. Like Harry, this whole thing was trying to like, how could they know all this information about us when we weren't talking about to anybody? They know all these private details about, when they broke up, conversations that they had with each other, that they would know it in detail. Yet the Mirror are sitting there saying like, oh, no, we never, how else would you know all these private details? When they didn't even talk to the palace. And what Harry was saying is that they will also always say like a palace source or a source from the palace or a friend or whatever. And he's like, well, they couldn't give you that information because I never told them. So they don't know, and they were even saying with the Chelsea's flight. Well, Chelsea's uncle could have said it, and he's like, well, he couldn't because he didn't know. We never told him. We never told him those flight details, so he could. There's no way he can have the correct information when we never told it to him. So there was no way you can have had that from him. And so all again, people are saying, oh, but a lot of it is circumstantial. But when you put all of these things together, any person with a brain could tell you, you know, this, when you put all of this evidence together, it's absolutely clear what the Mirror was doing was illegal. It was illegal information gathering. So I hope and pray that the judge, and again, I don't trust anybody in the UK. I'm sorry, I don't trust your legal system. I don't trust your reporters. Have no trust. There's no journalism there anyway, so there's nothing to trust. But I'm sorry, and especially with their allegiance to the royals, I'm like, until I see it for myself, I hope that the judge finds in the Harrys, because these people need justice. There has to be justice. There has to be justice for what they have gone through and this illegal behavior. This is ridiculous. So this is if you didn't know who they are before, definitely they're worth going and researching, because what happens with especially white male reporters is that they fail up. They don't. You would think like someone like this who was accused and was on trial for misconduct, for paying. Again, he did the deed. He paid for the Sandhurst instructor. He did the deed. They just claim it wasn't misconduct. I'm like, okay, but it was just like, now he is on all of these different shows and all of this stuff as this royal expert. So they're now getting paid to be on television, whatever, to talk about the people who they were hacking and blagging before. You look at Piers Morgan and all of these people. All of these people have had horrendous history of hacking, blagging, and all the rest. And now, you see somebody like Piers Morgan with a $50 million contract from Rupert Murdoch. Don't, you think people like Philip Schofield and all of this, don't be surprised if you see Philip Schofield on, again, fail up on one of these Murdoch show or something. That's what happened. And it's kind of like they do something horrible in one paper, they just jump to the other and hope nobody remembers, and people just sort of accept them at their word. And that's what happened in the UK. It feels like when they've done something like this, they jump to another outlet and they just continue and nobody says a word. And so what Harry is trying to do is to get reform, which is what's so badly needed in the UK. Press reform is so badly needed. You cannot depend on the IPSO. They are completely useless, as they have been. And and I'm gonna jump into the chat in a bit, but I want to just get through most of this. And I saw this. I was like, was this written by a squatty? I saw this article and I was just like, Rosita Sweetman, and she wrote, "We should acclaim Harry as our Prince of Truth." And this is the article, and I swear I was like, she thinks like a squatty. It says, "Let's face it. The battle in the UK between Prince Harry and the royal family and the tabloid press has everything a good Shakespeare play or an unredacted grim fairy tale might. There's a handsome prince. His beautiful young mom was hounded to death, cut loose by the royals when she opened her gob. There's the wicked stepmother having it off with the king-to-be, even as he was on his honeymoon. And there's a handsome prince, beautiful biracial wife, with whom the royals, once titular and beneficiary head of the British slave trade, are so jealous of, they can hardly bear to spare a space with. They can hardly bear to share space with, whom they have fed to the tabloid beast like live meat. There's the other, less handsome prince and his thick wife frantic to do the right or white thing, who, while stabbing their younger brother in the back, dropped his own action against the tabloid for a reputed £1 million. And it goes on, and she's like, nice. In truth, Harry's mission is incredibly important. How can you have a democracy if one of the legs of which democracy rests, a free and independent press, has been bought? How can you claim your country is okay if a vicious tabloid press is an attack dog for the right-wing billionaires? Harry's call for reform is an incredibly powerful one. Luckily for him, he has the means, the motive, and the, I would say, chutzpah to make it. And, again, the first part, but, it's like describing the royal house. So it was I'm like, has Squatty wrote this? Probably not. But, focusing on the bottom part was like his mission to reform the press is important because, again, how can you have a democracy when one part of you are bought? When you're sleeping with the royals and you're sleeping with the government, how can you have a free and fair democracy? And then you use the tabloid press as an attack dog on people. It's the people that you don't like, or the ones that challenge you, or the ones that are calling out your mess. This is what the press should be doing. Instead, again, as Harry's literally mentioned in his witness statement, they're in bed with the government. And I do dare say they're also in bed with the monarchy. And so I am so happy that that people are understanding that and calling it out and seeing the way Harry sees it. And this is important too, because I saw this Newsroom Africa, and I guess this is an outlet and from South Africa. And I was happy to see that not just in the UK they're talking about press reform, but this is a little video. I think I could just post it on our community page or in the show notes here as well. It says Newsroom Africa, Prince Harry's phone hacking court battle with the Mirror Group has raised questions about the media's responsibility, with journalism professor Anton Haber unpacks this further. And so again, this was from South Africa, and they are talking about press reform. And so I am really happy to see that this is not just in the UK they're talking about this, but we obviously know in the US they're also talking about it. We have a kind of a different way of the press, but who knows? Sometimes you see these leaks and stuff in the US, and I'm like, did you all hack somebody, or you know what I mean? This also is happening here, which could also explain some of the especially right-wing media attacking Harry. I'm like, oh, maybe hit a nerve there for some of you. But I'm so happy to see that people outside and reporters and news outlets outside of the UK are talking about this, because as Graham Smith was talking about, when he did a video for his expose news, he talked about this case was dead. Nobody was talking about this. This whole phone hacking, phone blagging, phone voicemail hacking, blagging, all of that stuff, it was a dead story until Prince Harry made it alive. And now everybody is talking about it. And so hopefully the judge will, hopefully he would rule in a way that would move this forward, that they can literally have reform, because that is what's needed. There need to be laws in place. There need to be kick out the IPSO and put an organization that is not run and formed by the newspaper itself. Like, I don't even understand why the IPSO exists when it's the newspaper themselves, the tabloids themselves, put it there supposedly as a watchdog for them. And it's like, how exactly is that going to work? And that's why it's not working. And that's why 6 months after Jeremy Clarkson put out his putrid article about Meghan, they still have not ruled. Why? Because they're waiting for us to forget about it. And we're, of course, not going to forget about it. So they're going to prolong it until hopefully we forget. And then they could put out that, they're not going to do anything about Jeremy Clarkson, because they are in bed with the Sun. So how are they going to rule against the Sun? And then there are the other side. Well, how are they not? Because this is one of the most complained about article they ever had. So they're in a place where, what do we do? And watchdog group should never be in that place. They need to be independent. And the IPSO is completely irrelevant. They are of no value to anybody, because they literally do nothing. And I think, according to Byline Investigates, they've done nothing to 98% of the cases that has been sent their way. Nothing. So let's hope and pray for reform. And this, one of our, and I don't know if she's a squatty or not, but Shannon and a bunch of numbers, she posted this on Twitter today, and I was very happy to see this, because back in 2021, when we remember Lord Dyson had done that whole report about the BBC and the Martin Bashir thing, when he did the interview with Princess Diana, and how that came about, and the way that it came about wasn't right by Martin Bashir, but the interview was legit, because that if Princess Diana, and even Lord Dyson said, if Princess Diana had done it with Martin Bashir, she would have done it with someone else. So the interview is legit. Yes, how he did it and how he came about it was wrong, with faking receipts and all of that stuff and all of that bank statements along. That was wrong, but the interview itself is sound. But part of that we know was Prince William calling his mother paranoid and banning the BBC, basically banning the BBC from ever airing that documentary again. And so we remember his statement that that he stood there in front of the press attacking the BBC, who they are still in bed with. That was just all for show, but basically calling his mother paranoid and banning it. And this is the statement that Prince Harry had a totally different view. And this is the statement that Prince Harry put out back in May 20th, 2021 about that. It says, a statement from the Duke of Sussex says, commenting on the outcome of Lord Dyson's investigation, Prince Harry said, our mother was an incredible woman who dedicated her life to service. She was resilient, brave, and unquestionably honest. The ripple effect of a culture of exploitation and unethical practices ultimately took her life. To those who have taken some form of accountability, thank you for owning it. That is the first step towards justice and truth. Yet, what deeply concerns me is that practices like these, and even worse, are still widespread today. Then and now, it is bigger than one outlet, one network, or one publication. Our mother lost her life because of this, and nothing has changed. By protecting her legacy, we protect everyone and uphold the dignity with which she lived her life. Let's remember who she was and what she stood for. And the parts of this that I want to highlight is how Harry back in 21 was saying exactly what he was saying today. That what was happening back there, the things that took his mother's life is still happening today. It's not just one news outlet. It's not just the Mirror. It's the Mirror, the Sun, the Daily Mail, the Express, and others, on television, like the GMBs and the Jeremy Vines and all of these people. They have very unethical practices. And I'm not saying that, the TV ones are hacking and blagging. I don't have any receipts on that or proof of that. But definitely the ones that Harry is suing, the news outlets that Harry is suing, and it's like, it's happening. It's still happening today. These practices, not only are they happening today, it's even worse now, and it's still widespread today, And so it is just, I'm telling you, again, this is why reform needs to happen. This is why it needs to happen. This whole thing was dormant. It was dead until Prince Harry's like, no, we're going to make it relevant, and we're going to fight for this. We're going to fight to reform the press. And of course, the press is fighting back, and they're doing everything and throwing everything but their mother at Harry. And so we see that, unbelievable press abuse going Harry's way. Change the subject a little bit. Just a little bit of a change. Actually, you know what? Let's just do a little bit music. Come down from that a minute before we get to Archie's uncle. I'm not until the Archie's uncle. What am I saying? Lilibet's God. Where did I even come up with that? Archie's uncle. Lilibet's godfather. Let's get a little bit of a music change here. I am crazy. Like, Archie's uncle? Like, how did that even... Anyway, I hope you're hearing this music. I can't hear it because, well, for some reason, I don't know why. It's just mute on my end. But I'm hoping you're hearing this. Just a little bit of a change from hacking, blogging, and all of that mess, and come to the US, where we're gonna hang with Tyler for like a second, and the wonderful work that Tyler does and is doing. And again, trying to preserve Black history and Black entertainment and all the one. I mean, I am so proud of Tyler Perry. And now, we talked about this a while ago, that Tyler was in talks to buy BET and I think VH1 as well. And so today we're still waiting for the official word, but Love B Scott is reporting today that Tyler Perry finalizes deal to buy BET Media Group, including VH1, for an undisclosed sum. Tyler Perry could soon be announced as the new owner of BET, according to a new report from the streamer. The mogul has worked out a deal to buy BET Media from parent company Paramount Global for an undisclosed sum. So I am so happy about this because, again, BET was there. A lot of us didn't know, including myself. I didn't know that BET was not in a Black person's hand. I didn't realize that. It was Paramount, and I had no idea. So I am so proud of Tyler Perry. Like in my brain, I remember when we talked about it when I first heard about it, and I was like, oh, it would be so great if Meghan also is in this deal and she bought part of this with Tyler, and for Lilybeth, and put Lilybeth as part owner of of BET. That was my fantasy alone. So I am very, very, very excited to hear this and to see what he's gonna do with BET. Again, it's just you go, Tyler. This man is really doing everything in our power for our community in so many ways. And I am just so excited and so grateful. So, we'll just be the wind beneath his wings as he keeps flying and bringing BET back into Black people's hands. I'm sorry. I want it, Black people it's Black entertainment, and it should be run by a Black person. And so I am so happy. So I'm with bated breath to hear the official announcement of Tyler being Mary H is like, whoa, Tyler, good for Tyler. Yes. Karen M says, according to streamer, Perry has completed his acquisition of BET Media Group, which includes VH1 and BET and streaming service from Paramount Global. That was 7 hours ago. Okay, there you go. So, I mean, oh my gosh, I am so happy and so proud. MJB says, go Tyler, you deserve the best in life. Yes. Terry is like proud of Tyler. Yes. Oh, Lydia's hearing the music there. You go, Lydia. Mrs. Love is like, LOL, TP is their uncle by decree. I guess, yes, absolutely, uncle by degree. I don't even know where I came up with Archie's uncle. Like, I don't even know where that came from. That's having a mental moment there. Let's see anything more about Tyler as I scroll through the chat. But it is just such great news. It is just absolutely fantastic news. I am just Louise says, congratulations, Mr. Tyler Perry. We love and support you. Yes, we do. Fabi says, excited for Tyler. You imagine what if he worked with the Sussexes and the power to the power OT can create. I'm not sure what OT is, but yes. That's exactly what I was thinking. What if Harry and Meghan are part of that deal? I mean, that's what I was thinking. So I'm glad I'm not crazy. And Favi, you and I could be crazy together. So there you go. Penny says, whoa, Perry is going to lift up the people. He has already been doing it, and he's doing it even more. It is just so amazing. Joyce says, you notice that the UK press have not gone after Tyler Perry and no ho. I'm not sure what no ho means. They always go after people who love Harry and Meghan. Actually, somebody on Twitter was saying that earlier, that they've never gone after Tyler Perry because, one, Tyler is a billionaire. Tyler is not even going to look your direction. I mean, Oprah doesn't do it either. But again, he is. They tend to, especially with Harry and Meghan, they tend to go after the female. That is the thing with the British press. They always go after the woman. A lot more than they would go. Because if you notice, they go after Oprah. I mean, yes, the Oprah in Winfrey interview, but Oprah is a billionaire as well. She probably has more money than Tyler. And so they always go after Oprah. But yeah, though they have not gone after Tyler at all. Because and again, now Tyler owning BET. Hello. I love me some black millionaires and billionaires. You go. I mean, the things that he could do with this man. There are so many content creators right now who they had deals with, for example, Netflix and stuff, and Netflix just really took just got rid of so many of them that they signed up to do projects, and they got rid of. I mean, I don't know what type, what their plans are for BET, but imagine all these content creators that Netflix had signed, that they could instead bring their, and again, black and brown people can bring their creativity to BET, and I think it would be absolutely fantastic. I am just very excited to see what BET is going to do. For me, I have not watched I don't even watch television really, so I don't know what they had on there or what they have on there, but it would be very interesting to see and exciting to see what Tyler is going to do with that. Let's see. Fabi also says the power it can create working together with the Sussexes. I know. Would be amazing. Again, we don't know if they are, but it was just, a vision that I had, which I know that Fabi is as crazy as I am to have that vision. So who knows? Content Caligal says Tyler has the platform to expose the UK press on a global level. Oh, I'm telling you. Oprah does it. Oprah does as well, but she doesn't even pay attention to them. Oprah has her own thing with Oprah's thing that I joined, her group thing. She doesn't even have. Oprah's like, I am sitting here reading my book, Kyle. I am not paying you any attention. You're not worthy of my time. That's Oprah's thing. So she pays them no mind. Noah Daniel says it's not surprising that Tyler Perry and the Sussexes are close friends. They all love adding value to other human lives. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Yeah. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Rachel San said they do insult Oprah. They are deeply misogynistic. Yeah, exactly. They usually go after the woman. I mean, I was even talking about that even with the Middleton's mess, their bankruptcy mess that they're going through, is how they attack the mother, Kate Middleton's mother, and hardly anybody ever go after the father. It's a thing with that culture. It's so stinkingly misogynistic. It's unreal that they always go and attack the woman. And even female reporters do the exact same thing. They'll go attacking the woman, and the guy is right there doing the same thing, and they won't go after him. It's unbelievable. Let's see. Lorna says Tyler doesn't step foot in the UK and he had no use for them, and he lets them know. Oh, that's right. That's right. Remember when Harry and Meghan had asked Tyler about being baby Lily's godfather? He's like, do we have to go over there to do that thing? He's like, you could go. I'm going to stay right here. He is not into them. He has no damn. He is literally not into them, and he couldn't care less. And so that could be part of it too. Tyler Perry has no use for you. Let's see. Let's see what else. Oh, all for success X. Hello. Says also Tyler may know something they don't want aired right now. He has history too. Oh, that's right. He knows the truth. Remember, Tyler says. I remember in the interview or the Harry and Meghan docu-series, Tyler said that Meghan could have said so much, but she's very classy. She could have said so much more because she's very classy. She didn't say all she could have said. So I think they know that Tyler knows more. So as well. So, but again, Oprah has about an hour of that documentary that she didn't air. So who knows what's on there? Let's see. Lorna says, I hope Tyler Perry creates a Saturday morning kids segment with Pearl as one of the features. Oh my gosh, Lorna, I love this so much. I love this so much. Again, Netflix had Meghan's Pearl, and then they canceled. They literally took out 90% of their animation department. It's gone. And so along with that is a whole bunch of animated shows that was in production, including I always say her last name wrong. DuVernay, Ava DuVernay. I always get her name wrong. I don't know why. It's like it's never stuck correctly in my head. And she also had an animation show that she was creating with Netflix, and that all of that is gone. And so again, they ripped out 90% of their animation department, and Pearl went along with it. And so it would be great. It would be amazing if Pearl is on BET. And again, our vision for what BET can be. Maybe we need to get jobs at BET or something, or actually be content creators for BET. That I think that I would like that. Let's see. Sylvia says, I truly hope Tyler brings back the news portion. We could then get news that is happening in the minority community. Oh, the minority community. So many exciting things happening that never makes the news. This is amazing. This, I think, is. I'm telling you, we should get work. We should, really try to get jobs or be content creators, whatever, partners with BET, and make all these incredible suggestions. I absolutely think this is correct. And they can also have a, royal department as well to report factual royal news, So yeah, I think this is incredible. I absolutely, because again, so many things go on in the Black community, and the majority of which you see in the news is when there's something bad, like a shooting or something happened within the Black community. Then they will put it on the news. All of the great things that are going on in the Black community around the country, 99% of it is not getting reported. And so we need an outlet that would really focus on our people and building our people up, so that, where we are like, we're not only seeing the bad, but we're seeing really great and inspiring stuff, because we need that for the next generation. We absolutely need it. Let's see. Joy says Tyler knows everything Meghan went through with those people. They know if they go after him, he can open the box and let all of what Harry and Meghan may not have said out. That's true. That's true. They have definitely treaded very, very carefully with Tyler Perry. I think the only thing that I saw, I had to laugh there. I think that someone in the news referred to him as a rapper or something, or some craziness like that. I'm like, a rapper? When has Tyler Perry ever been rapping? It's just, the UK and their racism is just unreal. Let's see. We don't talk about that woman, that YouTuber on here. Yeah, no, we're not talking about her, giving her any attention. Let's see. Mariette says, so true, pedal. They're always attacking women. I noticed that. Yeah, they always go after the women. Even in, and you talk about this, the misogyny of this is even with the Philip Schofield thing, you notice how many people were attacking his former co-host, the what's her name? Willoughby? Yeah, Holly Willoughby. How many people were attacking her like she should have known? I'm like, this is not her issue, whether she knows or not, knew or not. She is not the guilty party here. He's the one that did the deed. He's the one that you should be going after. But then, instead of going after him, a lot of them was, oh, can you focus on his mental health? We have to think of him. And, but they feel perfectly fine to attack her. And it's just like, are you serious? Yep, this is the culture that's there. Patriarchy, misogynistic, and then you add Meghan into there, you have xenophobia, racism, and a whole bit. It's just a mess. Let's see. Let's see more. I'm just gonna stay in the chat for a bit. Um, hmm. Emerald says, this is awesome news. Tyler will do us proud. He is already right. He's already doing us proud. This man just gives back in so many ways. He just gives back. And I'm so happy that he's the one that God is just blessing over and over, because he trusts him to give back to his people. And I just really, I'm telling you, because some of these people, they get rich and it's all mine, me, mine. And Tyler just devotes his life to giving back and devotes his life to kindness, and it is just wonderful. Let's see. Karen says, this means more Black actors will have jobs. Oh, you can say that again. You could say that again. And featured in roles that, other news outlets that or other entertainment outlets would not put Black people in. And so it's wonderful. It's wonderful to see. And, Tyler was a person that they would laugh at before when he was doing his stage shows and stuff. I am not into those. It's not the content that I love or anything like that. But there are other things that he's done that I actually like. For me, I just love Tyler the person, his character, the way he does his business, the way he gives back. You don't have to like his content. A lot of people don't, even a lot of Black people. I've had the fights on Twitter with Black actors who are attacking Tyler. I'm like, why you don't go and build your own table and leave this man alone? People hate his writing, and I was like, it's his production company. He's going to write what he wants to write. If you have a problem with this, go write your own stuff and go find your own company. Go build your own table instead of attacking his thing. I get into fights all the time over this, of people wanting to dictate to this man how to write his shows or he should have write his shows. I was like, his dream is to write his own shows. That's what he's living. The man has built himself up from living in a car. You're gonna tell him how to write his shows and who should write it? The audacity, So I love him. I love who he is and what he's created, and the tables that he's built to give so many people opportunity, and not just Black people, Black, brown. He even have white cast members. But I love his mentality. I love that he doesn't feel like he needs to go out there and beg anybody to be at their table. He's like, while y'all out there fighting for other people's table, I'm going to be over here building mines in the presence of my enemies. And I remember he did a speech like that speech at an award show. And I was like, that's my mantra. Build your own table. So I love it. I absolutely love Tyler Perry. So let's see. Karen M says, pedal, I should say, more quality roles instead of the usual degrading ones. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. And so, and I remember with so many, I would always remember, I think it was Cicely Tyson, when he had her. I think she did one of his movies, and he paid her, and I think I'm saying this wrong. I think it was 10 times her salary. He just wanted to make sure that in her older years, and because I mean she was elderly, and he just wanted to make sure that she would not never have to suffer or have to worry about money. I think it was 10 times or even more than that what salary she was making, just because he wanted to make sure that she would be taken care of in her older years. And I was just like, dude. And even his studios, the studios there, the different sound stages are named after different iconic black actors or black civil rights. I mean, it's just, he just embraced his people and are just there lifting his people up. And I just absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Let's see. Penny is talking about Invictus. She says, I wouldn't see Harry there except for Invictus. Black voices need to be lifted up. I'm not sure what she meant there is. So maybe explain. But black voices need to be lifted up. Absolutely. Absolutely. There it was. There you go. Sherry Ware says Tyler Perry paid Cicely Tyson $1 million for 1 day's work. I mean, hello. $1 million. And Mrs. S is saying the same thing. Tyler Perry paid $1 million for just a few minutes he wanted to give back to her. And I'm telling you, I mean, how can God not bless somebody who does something like this? How can he not? Because again, when he blesses Tyler gives it back. He gives and makes sure his people, even the elderly black people in his community where his studio is in Atlanta, he paid up all their mortgages and stuff like that, so that I guess there's a lot of gentrification happening there, so that people would not have to leave their homes. He paid their mortgages and all of that stuff. And all the black people, the elderly black people in our community, got their mortgages paid. And it's amazing. And that just happened, I think it was earlier this year. It is amazing. And if you have not read Tyler Perry's book, Harry's Waiting, please read it. We did a book in our book club, and we talked about it. It is amazing the life he came from and what he is doing now. It is just, please go read that book. So inspiring. Let's see. Mrs. S says, what about the guy from the Cosby Show who was working at Trader Joe's? He is now working. Oh, Jeffrey Owens. It's so fun. I know Jeffrey. Jeffrey's here. Jeffrey, yeah, with actors, if you're not working, people always think like actors are all actors are millionaire because they've been on television and whatever. I don't know if the Cosby Show is in, I don't know if there are reruns happening. I don't know what is happening with that, but I'm thinking with the whole thing with Bill Cosby that it may not be. So all those residuals that they would have been making, that has all dried up because of what happened with Bill Cosby. So then Jeffrey, who, it's so wild. Jeffrey got a job at Trader Joe's, and of course, if you don't know the story, some woman filmed him at Trader Joe's and trying to embarrass him, on whatever social media, either Facebook or wherever she posted it, and then it turned, but then it got flipped where people were like, what's wrong with working at Trader Joe's? If you're in New York and actors in New York, it's like, look, unless you have a television show or a film where you're working consistently, it's not a lot of money. And especially if your residuals have, dried up, you have to support your family. Jeffrey has a wife, Gisette, and his son. And as you can tell, I know them. I actually babysat his son like years and years ago, who is in college. It's like, now playing football, basketball in college, he has to support them. And so it's like, I don't understand why this person think embarrassing Jeffrey, on, because he's working at Trader Joe's. So it all turned around. And then Tyler hired Jeffrey on one of his shows. And so Jeffrey has been doing great ever since. He was at the Oscar, I think, Oscars like a couple of years ago. He was actually featured on the Oscars, and it became a big thing where people started finally understanding that it's about 1% of actors that actually can make a living from the work that they're doing. The majority of actors have to have regular jobs to sort of supplement and to be able to pay their family until the next big, whether it's theater or TV or film, happen. The majority of New York actors, I mean, unless you're on Broadway, you have to have another job, so it just is difficult. So, but yeah, Tyler, he got on Tyler hired him for one of his shows, and so the last I checked, Jeffrey's doing great. I was like, thank you, Tyler. So yeah, but it's really, yeah. I'm telling you, he has rescued so many people. I mean, including, paying for one black actress who had skin issues, and I think he offered to pay for her to be able to take care of the issues that she had with her skin. And I mean, he just is just, he's just there giving back to people, and it's just so amazing. Love say, yeah, it's Jeffrey Owens. Yeah. And Jeffrey is great. He's such a great guy. I mean, they're great people. Yeah. John says, but I remember Jeffrey Owens' father, politician Major Owens. I don't know his father. I never knew his father. Yeah, I know his mom, but I didn't know of his father. So, well, there's something I learned today I didn't realize. Major Owens. That could explain, yeah, that explains a lot. Oh, what to say. Let's see. Um, Penny says someone mentioned Harry having a show spot on BAT. Nothing against having a show spot on BET. Nothing against Harry. That's interesting. I don't know. Again, anything about Harry and BET, that was just mine. And Fabi was just our imagination. I was just thinking Meghan and a baby Lilibet. But hey. Tyler hires white people, so there you go. Who knows? Let's see. Mary H again says, wonderful of Tyler Perry to do that for Cicely to make her golden years easy. I'm telling you, one day of work. It's amazing. Karen M says, Tyler Perry took care of Cicely Tyson for the last 15 years of her life. I'm telling you. His mom, and if you read his book, Higher is Waiting, it's all about his relationship with his mom. That woman must be so proud. And to see him just, everything he promised her, he promised his mom that when he's going to make it and she's not going to have to do anything, she's not going to have to work. And before his mom passed away, he was able to do everything for his mom that he wanted to do for her. And as we know, she came from a very abusive past. Her husband was incredibly abusive to all of them. And so it's amazing. And I'm so happy I love it when good things happen with good people. So there you go. Let's see. Vinny Blair says, it's amazing how God used that wretched woman to turn around Owen's life. She thought she was doing evil, the devil's work, but exactly. Because it not only turned around Owen's life, but it opens people's eyes to what life is as an actor. And then it helped other actors who have the same experience to feel like, oh wow, I don't have to be ashamed of having to take a job at Trader Joe's or whenever to to supplement my income, whatever. I don't have to be embarrassed. I can talk about it. And they made it a thing at the Oscars. And it was just so great to see, And so, yeah, I just really, I think one of the things that Jeffrey had said, when he was concerned about what his son, because his son is in college, and he was concerned what his son would think, and he called him to apologize. It's like, I know it's embarrassing, and he's like, no, Dad, I'm proud of you. It's nothing to be embarrassed. And I was so happy that his son had that attitude, and it's like, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. I mean, guys, paying for his family, it's an honest job. you know and again, I to think that you would think that she would thought she was, like Vinny said, she was doing the devil's work, and that just turned right around. So it's just wonderful. Let's see. Sylvia says maybe BET and Oshawa will work together to bring us Pearl. I'm telling you, during Black History Month, let's hope. Let's hope together. Yeah, I mean, that would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. Leslie F says, I would love for Tyler to do a cartoon with mixed races or mixed Latino. Oh, yes, mixed Latinos. Like in my family, I'm brown black hair. My biological grandson is red haired with blue eyes, but still Latino. Yes, because in the Latino community and black community, there are varying shades. There's some Latino look you would never, unless you hear their name or the accent, whatever, you would never think they're, you know what I mean? So we have varying shades and mixture in not just the Latino community, also the black community as well. My family is like the United Nations. So and my grandfather is from Venezuela, so I'm part. So there you go. So very, very interesting. But no, Leslie F, I think that would be absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Um, let's see. Leslie, back to Leslie says, my grandson often asks why we don't see other families like ours, or black uncle or white mother, Puerto Rican dad, a brown grandma, and him a ginger with red hair, all blood related. I mean, that would be fantastic to see that on television. It's like this, because so many just people are still not, even in the year of our Lord 2023, don't understand the mixtures that are in families. Like, it's unbelievable. The ignorance out there is unreal. Let's see. Joan Garcia. Joan says, if Tyler ever did give Harry and or Meghan their own show, people on Shutter Island would explode from inside out. They're already exploding, so I guess that would be a norm for them. That would be an absolute norm for them. So yeah. Let's see. I think the last thing I have here, what else do I have? On here is the U.S. Army, the ARCP, again, thanking Harry. And it is just so great. They posted this today. They said, thank you, Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, for all you do to help our wounded, ill, and injured service members. Warrior Games closing, San Diego, Team Army ARCP. And again, I just love it. And this is Harry during his speech yesterday for the at the Warrior Games. And, I just love it. I love the fact that the U.S. Army, they're like, thank you, Prince Harry, for all you do. And I love how the U.S. servicemen and women appreciate Harry, how they appreciate what he has done, what he's doing, the work he's doing. They're all so excited about the Invictus Games coming up. And for me, that just warmed my heart. It has absolutely warmed my heart to see the relationship that he has with them, his love for the U.S. Military, and their love right back to him. And I love it. It just, Lydia says, that was amazing. Would have loved to hear the speech. There's a little clip on it on Twitter, but I'm hoping somebody will release the whole of it so we can hear it. But yeah, it's just so wonderful. You go, Prince Harry. Let's see. Um, Lorna is talking about mixed race community. She says Alma's Way on PBS features a Latino family in a mixed race community. Okay, so there you go, Leslie F. There's something on PBS, so hopefully BET may follow suit. Hey, send in some kind of message and try to get some message to BET to suggest programming that they can have. Sherry Ware says, I am so glad the military have embraced Harry like he's embraced the military community. Yeah, the US military especially have just love him. They've always have had this incredible relationship, and we just pray that it just continues forever and ever. It is amazing. I absolutely, absolutely love it. Joan says, people of with good souls recognize other people with good souls. Absolutely. Absolutely true. Mrs. S says it is shameful. It is shameful to see the USA showing Harry more love than his country of birth. Thank you, U.S. military. And there's a level of just ungratefulness, just lack of gratitude that comes out of the UK. That and not all the military servicemen and women. A lot of them appreciate Harry's work, but you see it come out in different ways, even among some of them. That it's just this lack of gratitude and just this. It's just a snarky nastiness that it's gross. And so it is for me. It always warms my heart to see his relationship with the U.S. because you never see this with U.S. servicemen and women. You never see that kind of behavior with them at all. They just really respect, what he's done and what he's trying to do, and I love that. It's what needs to happen. You don't disrespect your military vets, especially when they are working on your behalf. You just don't do that. So yeah. Let's see. Terry says, wondering what is the HF saying about Harry giving the speech to the at the Warrior Gate. What is HF? I'm not sure what so let me know what you mean. I don't know. Maybe I should know, but I don't know. Vinny says, Bullion must be incandescent to hear the U.S. Army personnel shouting, Harry, 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 at the end of his speech. Of course. From success to success, and he can't stop him. They would try, but they can't. As long as Harry is, with William, it's like, of course, he'd want that too, because, whatever Harry has, William wants. So there. Penny Christopoulos says that would be great. Yes, my friend's son does not look Latino, but speaks great Spanish. Lots of potential. Yeah, I'm telling you, that could be. You guys write in to BET and suggest programming. So yeah. Definitely. Sylvia says, I'm so happy Harry said he married the woman with his same beliefs. Meghan traveled with the USO and has the highest respect for the military. I am proud of Harry and Meghan. Here, here. Great point. Sylvia, absolutely. Let's see. So Leslie says, if I suggest anything, it would be you and I being investigative reporters for BET News. Hey, let's do it, Leslie. Let's do it. We could be investigative reporters investigating the royals, and we could be their royal correspondents. That would be awesome. Definitely, I'd be up for that. So yeah. Let's see. Anne Lewis, hi Anne. Anne says Harry's a visionary to see how much he can do to unite everyone around through the Invictus Games. We are all one. South Africa will join, and then others will follow suit. Yes, we are waiting for South Africa and other African nations and Caribbean nations. Hello to join. That would be awesome. So, as they get more and more sponsors coming on, or even sponsors giving them more and more money, then they can keep adding more countries. And again, they can only add countries as they have money to be able to support the different countries as they be a part of the game. So let's just, keep our fingers cross for more and more sponsors with more and more money so they can add more and more people to the games, which would be amazing. So this year, Costa Rica, Colombia is there, and also Israel is there, and also Nigeria is going to be there. So awesome, 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 awesome. Let's see. Um, let's see. Um, hmm, let's see. I think that's it. I think that's all I got, guys. Hopefully, definitely I see something with that in the chat with that hate organization, which I am not going to do because I'm not giving them any attention. Definitely pray for Harry because they are definitely harassing, and the British press is doing what they're doing. So definitely keep Harry and Meghan in your prayers, as we always are praying for them. So definitely we will keep supporting and praying for them, and that they are able to withstand all of this nonsense, and get to a place where they're further and further and further away from anything UK. I know Harry is British, and he obviously would keep his associations there, but further and further in terms of their mental health and mental whatever, that they are just after a while they're just so far away from that they're not even, none of that stuff affects them. So, but again, they're human beings, and obviously when people are doing mess against you, then it affects you. So we just need to definitely keep praying for them, and and hopefully soon we'll see Meghan. Maybe when she's done doing Archetypes season 2, we'll see her again. In the meantime, girl, just sit under your tree. We don't need, you don't need to be, we don't need to see her as long as she's working until she is ready for us to see her. So just take care of your mental health and your family and all of that stuff. So anyways, that's it, guys. I am so happy. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for the last hour and 41 minutes. Oh my goodness. Thank you to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Church, Nelly, Karen M, Cookies and Cream. We're still praying for Cookies and Cream and her family, obviously because of the death in her family. So we're definitely still praying for you, my dear. Thank you to our 2 Cents crew members who support the channel on a monthly basis. I appreciate you so much. Actually, I am missing a few people on this list. I have to redo, as you can tell, I have to redo my whole list to get some of these things off and add some more. So by the next episode, I will have all the others that I am missing from this list. And also to our Gold Star supporters who support in the chat, thank you all so much for all the ways that you give and donate, and whether it's super stickers, super thanks, super chat, all of the things. And some of you donate via PayPal and Cash App. So thank you all so very, very much for that. Thank you. And I appreciate it. So anyways, I will see you guys next time. Thank you all so much again. I appreciate just you taking the time to hang out with me, and I will see you all next time. Again, let me put my banner back. If you're hanging out here and you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Click the notification bell so that way you know when we drop a video. And if you're able, definitely join our 2 Cents crew, and please help us build the channel. Like and share, and with your friends or your community or your social media platforms. Please share the video and help us continue to build. Again, we are over 7,000, so thank you all so much. We are slowly growing, but we are growing. So I appreciate that. So thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye.